Hey there lads, welcome to a new video on this channel, already my third video, and in today's video we will be going over our squad as it is right now on the 3rd of February. I think you will be watching this on the 3rd of February. I'm recording this on the 2nd of February, meaning tomorrow is deadline day, but I don't foresee us doing any business at all. Maybe letting go of one more player, but I rather hope we wouldn't because the squad is already looking kind of thin. But I will tell you my summer strategy for this for this squad. So I will be going over the next couple of tiers: staying and playing, meaning a player who has to be in our first 11. Keep is just a squad option. Loan him out is someone who I believe in his talent, but maybe needs a little more minutes to actually make an impact. And sell is obviously players who I think are surplus to requirements. And starting off with a loan player, a player who already has left the club on loan is Alex Murphy. He has joined Bolton, and I think that's a pretty good move. Playing in the third tier of English football, getting some minutes, getting some experience before coming back, and maybe in the future being a viable option for us at centre half. Now, the first obvious keep and play is Anthony Gordon. He has to be a keep. He has signed a contract extension this season, meaning he will be playing on Tyneside for a couple more seasons, probably slash hopefully. We do need to push on in order to keep our best players, but as for Anthony Gordon, I think he will stay. Bruno Guimaraes will stay as well, in my opinion. I know this is maybe a bit more of a controversial one, as a lot of people are maybe afraid he will be leaving, especially if we don't manage to qualify for Champions League football. But I think as long as we get some sort of European football, we should absolutely be fine. And this is the last butt clenching summer about Bruno Guimaraes. If we can keep him throughout this one, I think he will become a bona fide Newcastle United legend. Now, as for Alexander Isak, that becomes a little harder. Obviously, I'm putting him in staying and playing because he is probably the most informed striker in the world, and maybe, according to some, even the best striker in the world. If we don't manage to qualify for Champions League football, I think he might look at his options this summer, not necessarily move straight away, but be open-minded about who comes in with an approach. And that would really sadden me because he's absolutely unbelievable, man. Alexander Isak is unplayable on his day. We have to keep hold of him, and we have to keep hold of him by qualifying for Champions League football this season. Sven Botman, I'm going to put in staying and playing for now, because this is one where we are looking towards next summer. His injuries do worry me a little bit, though. Um, I love Sven Botman, really do. I think he's a fantastic player, but he needs to be able to be fit for more than half of the season. And as of now, he hasn't shown us that just yet, because when he is fit, he is an absolutely fantastic defender, but you need to be able to rely on him, especially as Dan Burn, who is a capable backup. So I would really like to keep him. That's why we put him in keep. Um, those two are enough for one more season, I think, at the left-sided centre back. So it isn't necessarily a priority for us to go out and sign a left-footed centre back this summer. But down the line, some coverage for Sven Botman could very much be helpful. Callum Wilson, I think it is officially time to go for him, and that does really sadden me because Callum Wilson is a fantastic player on his day. He has done a lot of great things for this club. Probably helped us stay in the league under the last few Mike Ashley years. So I will forever be grateful to him for that. But because of the injuries, because of Alexander Isak, and my hope that we will be bringing a different backup striker coming summer, I think it is time to cut ties and let Callum Wilson go to somewhere else. Emil Kraft, I would also sell. I think we need to accumulate as much money as possible, and it is by stacking up small amounts. It isn't by just selling off one of our main players. That's obviously something the board really, really aren't looking to do. And therefore, we need to sell more players like Kraft. I like him. He can cover both the right back and center back. But if we are strengthening coming summer at the right hand side center back, which I mean, we tried to do that last summer, so I think we will be in for one again. That could very much spell the end for Emil Kraft. I do, however, believe we have to keep Jamal Lascelles around as a squad option. Maybe even just for morale, you also just can't sell all your players. I don't think any amount of money you are still able to get for Lascelles would be worth selling him, so I would just keep him at the club. The same goes for Fabian Scher, and I'm not putting him in staying and playing because I believe he should see less significant minutes coming season than he has done over the last couple of seasons under Eddie Howe. We are clearly looking for a younger right hand side centre back. I think it would be great if those two can, for the first season or two, share some minutes around, both get a partnership going with Sven Botman, and then after a while, we could phase out Fabian Scher and maybe even look to let go, but I would keep him in the squad. The same goes for Harvey Barnes. I know a lot has been made about the potential of maybe making about 25, 30 million on Harvey Barnes, and I do believe that is a possibility, but I also believe we don't really have any attacking quality right now coming off of the bench apart from Harvey Barnes. Um, Harvey Barnes is the only top half Premier League player I do feel confident in saying that we don't consistently start in the Premier League, meaning we don't really have enough firepower coming off of the bench. So that's why I would actually keep Harvey Barnes, especially if we are getting European football next season. Fixture congestion will absolutely play parts yet again as it did last season. So Harvey Barnes, obvious keep for me. Lewis Hall is an obvious stay and play. He is absolutely fantastic. He is still so incredibly young. There is no way that I would let Lewis Hall go anywhere, especially given he's also a boyhood Newcastle United fan. The same goes for Joe Linton, one of the most unique profiles in the entire Premier League, in my opinion. He stays and he plays. Louis Smiley, you obviously keep as a squad option, but I think you not necessarily look to sell Joe Willock this summer, but you at the very least listen to offers for him. And here's why. He is on his day a really, really good and talented player with a lot of energy, but he gets injured a lot, meaning he isn't that or hasn't been that reliable for us anymore over the last 18 months or so. This is a PSR world, which I know it's the three most boring letters in football, but we have to take it into account. And getting 20 to 25 million from the likes of a Bournemouth or Brighton for Joe Willock might genuinely be worth it in order to bring in a different backup midfielder for like 20 million, which on which you can amortize the fee over like 4 to 5 years, meaning you only spend 4 to 5 million on that transfer fee during the next summer. So that's 15 to 20 million you can spend on a different player as well. I think there is some upside to be had in selling Joe Willock, even though I would really miss him. Lloyd Kelly has already gone to Juventus somehow. I can't believe how he has managed to fall upwards that much, but I mean, yeah, here we are. Lloyd Kelly is a freaking Juventus player. Now, I would suggest we get into the keepers real quick, and I'm just going to put them into one section. I think Pope will regain his place by next season. I would love to keep Dubravka and John Ruddy around as squad options, and both let go of Odysseas Flakidimos and Mark Gillespie. Very easily, Gillespie is never getting a minute of football anymore for us. Odysseas Flakidimos is just a constant walking reminder to me of how boring and unruly this PSR bullshit actually has become. Um, John Ruddy is a very nice character in the dressing room, I've been told, and that's a strong enough reason to keep a fourth choice goalie like him around. Martin Dubravka and Nick Pope have both shown this season they are absolutely quality top half goalkeepers in the Premier League, and I think we are incredibly lucky to have two of them. So I would try and keep both of them. If you aren't able to, maybe sign a younger goalkeeper as well who can come in the long term in between the sticks. As for Matt Target, I would sell as well. I know Newcastle are very thin on the ground right now when it comes to left back options, so maybe there is some value to be had in keeping him through this January period, but after that he has to go. We could be signing a backup left back, or should be signing a backup left back, in my opinion, someone who can maybe even rival Lewis Hall for a starting spot, but that won't be my target. And at 100k a week, we have to let him go. The same goes for Sean Longstaff, in my opinion. And I know we most likely won't get that much money for him, but again, this could be 15 to 20 million pounds pure profit, as he is a youth academy player of ours. And yeah, just look to reinvest it somewhere else in the squad. And really, we do need to sign another midfielder if we are selling Willock and Longstaff in the same summer. I can't really see it happening, but I personally would. Jacob Murphy has to stay around. He has had a fantastic season. It doesn't make any sense to me to sell him. Tonali has to keep starting. He has been one of the best number sixes, maybe just apart from Moses Caicedo and Ryan Gravenberg in the Premier League this season, which is an incredible achievement. He's so bloody good, even better than I thought he could be. Livramento is also a player I'm putting in staying and playing for now, but he could very much lose his place there. How could he lose his place there? Well, his underlying stats, as I've talked about in the previous video, if you haven't checked it out that yet, please go ahead and have a look. But his stats do need some improving, and if he can't make the step up, I think it's a valuable option to bring in competition for him. As for now, though, I think just keep Kieran Trippier as a squad option. His experience, his set piece play, it's all vital. It's all a weapon you can bring off of the bench and put some more trust and some more belief in Tino Livramento. And who knows, maybe he kicks on and remains as our starting right back. As for the last player, I would look for a loan spell for William Osula, as I do believe if he was able to get more minutes, say in the championship next season for Southampton, for an Ipswich, for a Leicester, who probably will be going down all three yet again. Um, I think we could be getting a player back that can actually do a job as maybe a second or third option in attack up front, or maybe from the left, from the right. We shall see. William Asula probably go out on loan next season. Anyways, this was part one of a mini series of two parts in which I will lay out a summer plan for Newcastle United. I've now shown you who I intend to keep, who I intend to sell, who I intend to loan. This means we have about three goalkeepers, two right backs. I believe we have four centre backs, one left back, about one central defensive midfielder, and three central midfielders, as well as four wingers and one striker, meaning, or three wingers and one striker, actually, meaning I very much believe we need to bring in a striker, a right winger, a central midfielder, maybe a central defensive midfielder, a right sided centre back, and maybe a backup left back. This has to be a very, very busy summer for us because if we are competing in Europe yet again next season, we have to have a bigger squad. The first season of Champions League football showed us the dangers of not having a big squad and competing in multiple competitions. So yeah, I hope that doesn't come and bite us in the ass yet again. As for now, I really want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe, ring the notification bell so you never miss a video, especially because part 2 is coming up of this mini series. Please go ahead and follow all of our socials as well, Magpie 24/7 on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, everywhere you look, on TikTok. Please go ahead and follow us, and then I would like to see you in the next one. Ciao.